Chocolate truffles are one of the many utilizations of ganache. For truffles, the ganache mixture can be altered using different types of chocolate or the addition of cocoa, nuts, sprinkles, or even shredded coconut. The most classic version of a chocolate truffle is made with dark chocolate and rolled into unsweetened cocoa. To start with doing dipped truffles, we've got our tempered chocolate in a bowl. Again, you want to make sure that you've got a barrier between the tempered chocolate bowl and your surface so that the bottom doesn't set before the rest of it. Keep a spatula in there to keep the tempered chocolate moving. Again, we want to make sure that we're moderating temperature, so if it begins to get too cool, have a bain-marie nearby, and it can go on and off the bain-marie to make sure that it stays in the proper temperature. I also have my chilled firm ganache. This is a 1-to-1 ratio of heavy cream and chocolate, which just put in a sheet pan and let set in a mold. We're going to actually cut out uniform portions of chocolates to dip. Trim off the excess. All right, chocolates and temper. And in this instance, you can use a fork. We're going to take the chocolate here, the truffle. This will be our truffle. Drop it into the bowl. Make sure it's coated. Make sure you've kind of taken off all the excess of it. We don't want to have big feet on our chocolates. And when you place it down, you're just going to shimmy from underneath it. There we go. All right. If you have another smaller fork, you can actually take it and make little patterns on the top. Now when using transfer sheets, you want to cut them so that they're a little bigger than the size of your chocolate. This way you can pick it up and release it from the truffle once the chocolate has set without touching it. So now that they're wet, we're actually just going to drop it right on top, gently press down to make sure that it's made contact with the surface. If you don't see that it's made full contact, it means that you can have a spot where the transfer sheet won't have connected. And allow them to set. You'll know that they're set when, they won't appear wet anymore, but they will have that signature shine that tempered chocolate has. When it comes to rolling truffles and then dipping them in cocoa powder, there are two ways to go about it with the ganache. You can either pipe the ganache in circles and let them rest, or you can start out with like a brick of ganache. And again, we're going to be using a 1-to-1 ratio of cream and chocolate with a ganache for this purpose. So in this case though, I've got like a brick of ganache, sharp knife, and then a bowl of sifted cocoa powder. You do want to sift the cocoa powder so it's not clumpy. And then we're just going to cut uniform portions of the truffles. Okay. We do still want them to be about the same size as we go down. Right. And there might be excess, and that's okay. You can put that aside, even roll them later. Okay. So, to keep them from sticking, toss them in the cocoa powder first real quick, and then just gently roll them in the palms of your hand until they form a uniform circle. Back in the cocoa powder one more time. Shake off a little bit of the excess and let set. Let's say allow them to set for a couple hours. When you want to serve these, you can keep them at room temperature. You don't have to chill them. Remember, ganache does get hard, and that changes the texture. You want to keep these soft, so storing them at room temperature is fine for about up to a week. Truffles can be served immediately once they reach room temperature, or can keep in the refrigerator for up to 2 weeks. If they are cooled in the refrigerator for later, be sure to allow them to reach room temperature before serving to a customer. Because they should be served at room temperature, truffles hold well for a variety of settings. While chocolate truffles have a notoriety for being a decadent item, they're fairly easy to make and are a delicious item for bake shops and restaurants.